Chris THompson. Again, another win. It's undefeated under Sean Smith's banner. Just talk us through the performance.
From the first round, I just established my jab. Unfortunately, in the second round, I tore my bicep. I couldn't start throwing the left hand. At the end of round 2, I hurt him. But then my bicep got torn. So, I knew I had a good jab. So I just stayed behind the jab. He was coming in with a big right hand. So I just kept my left hand tight. Unfortunately, it's off. I was trying to land my right hook, but I just knew if I stuck behind my jab, I got a good jab, I can keep it at distance, So unfortunately, the injury led to, I couldn't stop him as I wanted to, but, that happens. It's sport. Injuries happen.
Obviously, having to beat someone with one hand, but the difficulties facing that, how did you feel he approached that?
I wasn't too worried about what he was doing. I was just being smart. Unfortunately, I know I have what it takes to beat guys with just a jab. I've got a very good jab, so I just stuck behind my jab and stayed smart. I knew I could win the rounds. I could have gone 12 rounds with one arm. It's just unfortunate, but it's part of the sport. I'm not a crybaby. We're gonna go fix it out. I'm gonna go to Life Hospital now and just fix it,
Yeah, I don't want to talk too much about the arm because it's going to take away from the performance, but it did play a big role in the fight. It changed sort of the way you would have liked to box. When you would know when you would like to be back?
Well, obviously I'm diligent. I've got a great recovery team behind me, good sports massage therapist. I've got great sponsors behind me, Interfelt. These guys, they support me. I'm just grateful, got a good team behind me. Sean's behind me, so I'm good with recovery. I'm a smart athlete, got good nutrition. I'm gonna operate tomorrow morning, and I'll be back in the ring in the new year.
I mean, that's got to be. It's obviously not the greatest news to happen. You wanted to knock out Limbani in this fight.
100%.
It didn't happen. Would you want him again to try that, or no?
No, I beat him with one hand. I got a unanimous decision. I beat the guy with one hand. Why should I fight him again? Doesn't make sense. The gloves were so small, you can see it rip the skin off my finger. So unfortunately, I just had bad circumstances. Tore my left bicep, hurt my left hand. I beat the guy with one hand. There's no point in me fighting the guy again. My sparring partner hopefully vacates that SA title soon, and I get the SA title. You know what I'm saying?
There is his sparring partner right there.
Give me that SA title, baby. I want the SA title.
Obviously, if you're fighting for the SA title, it's against only one man, and it's also a friend of Thabiso, is Akani Phuzi, an old foe of yours.
Yeah.
If that fight were to happen, what is your prediction for that one?
Look, Akani and I met in the very beginning of my career. He had a couple hundred of amateur fights. That was my third fight ever. That was my third fight. I faced him. I fight him again. I think it's going to be a different ball game. He's a great fighter. I could go down to the wire, but I believe I've got what it takes. I've got a great sparring partner. I've got a great team behind me. Like I said, I've got great sponsors that support me. And when that SA title comes, I'll be prepared.
He did mention in one of the interviews I did with him that he's beaten you twice. He wouldn't want to do it again. You've got a different take on that because you recalled your first fight against him.
Yeah.
Sort of, can you elaborate on that?
Look, obviously the first fight, you got a point deduction in 6 rounds, and I believe I won that fight. Obviously the things say otherwise, but we can't avoid each other. We're number 1 and number 2 in the country. The title goes vacant. We can't avoid each other. We must fight. What about
the name of Lebo Masitoa?
Lebo can come get it anytime he wants. Anytime he wants. But Lebo's below me. He can't fight for the SA title. He's a small boy. He can't fight for the SA title. Thabiso will vacate the title, and then number 1 December is vacating. That fight's going to happen. We can't avoid each other. It is what it is. Trilogy. Let's go.
And then, just lastly, a message for anybody.
Thank you so much for everybody for coming out. I really appreciate it. Unfortunately, I didn't get the stoppage. Hurt my bicep. Big thank you to all my sponsors. Connor, Danny, guys, you guys fought great today. It's just great to fight on the same bill as my sponsors, boys. I'm just grateful. It's great to have a team. Sean Smith, Shannon, Errol, Thabiso for helping me for sparring. All the guys behind me, we're like a family. So the Wolf Pack, I really appreciate you guys. And I'll be back in the ring. I was going to fight this year anyway. That was my last fight for the year. So the new year will continue as planned. We'll win the SA title and we'll carry on climbing the ranks.